Wait.
O'Hara, don't be a jerk. You don't seem to realize I'm turning over to you the nicest, the best beat in Brooklyn. Look at that old church and them old houses.
Did George Washington ever do any living around here?
Of course he did. Why? This whole neighborhood just stinks of atmosphere. Look at this old house here.
Do the original owners still live in there?
Now, don't crack wise about the Brewster sisters. They're some of the dearest, sweetest, kindest old ladies that have walked the earth. They're out of this world. They're like pressed rose leaves.
Pressed rose leaves? The girls must be kind of hard up, huh?
Oh no, their old man left them fixed for life. And don't you call them the girls either.
Well, if they're so well, what are they renting rooms for?
They don't rent rooms, but you can bet if anyone came around here looking for a room, they wouldn't walk away without a couple bucks in their pocket and probably a good meal. That's just their way of digging up people to do good to.
Mike.
Reverend Harper, I do hope you don't disapprove of Mortimer just because he's a dramatic critic, and that he takes you out to the theater every night.
It's not so much that I disapprove of Mortimer just because he's a critic, but no man with this kind of published attitude should be taking any man's daughter any place, at you, and any time, at you.
I must be catching cold.
No, dear, that was Reverend Harper who sneezed. Bless you.
Thank you.
We mustn't be angry with Mortimer. He's so very much in love with her. And my sister Martha and I are so happy about it. He used to visit us only occasionally, but now he visits us 6 nights a week.
Remember now, watch your language.
You know I'm not a swearing girl.
You'd be surprised what they consider swearing.
Come in, Mrs. Murphy.
Hello, Miss Abby. We've come for the toys for the Christmas fund.
Oh, yes.
This is Officer O'Hara. She's taking over my beat.
How do you do?
Welcome to our neighborhood, Miss O'Hara.
What news have you brought me?
We have nothing to report, Colonel.
Oh, no, nothing to report.
Bully. London. Thank you, ladies. At ease.
You know Reverend Harper from the church next door?
How do you do?
Teddy, go upstairs and get that big box out of Aunt Martha's room.
That's a splendid work you officers do.
Charge!
To give children a happier Christmas.
It gives us something to do when we have to sit out at the station. You get tired of playing cards.
How's Mr. Brophy?
He's better now. A little weak still.
I'll go get him some beef broth to take.
Oh, don't bother. You've done so much for him already.
I won't be a minute.
Well, if I know what pure kindness and generosity are, it's because I know the Brewster sisters.
Colonel, you promised not to do that.
But I have to call a cabinet meeting to get the release of those supplies.
Well, don't do that again. He used to do that in the middle of the night. The neighbors raised Cain with us. They're a little afraid of him anyway.
What's going on here anyways?
He thinks he's Teddy Roosevelt. And what of it? There's a lot worse people could think he was.
Very interesting. I'll make a note of that. He is a very interesting character.
Real shame. Such a nice family like this hatching a cuckoo.
Well now, isn't this nice?
Good afternoon, Miss Brewster.
How do you do, Mrs. Brophy?
Fine. We just stopped in to pick up the Christmas toys.
Oh, yes.
Oh, Martha, you're back! Here's the broth, Mrs. Brophy. Be sure it's good and hot.
Yes, ma'am. This is fine.
The Army and Navy are ready for action.
Oh, Colonel, these will make a ton of kids happy.
What's this? The Oregon?
Teddy dear, put it back.
But the Oregon goes to Australia.
Now, Teddy.
No, it goes to Australia.
We'll run along now. Thank you.
Oh, not at all. Goodbye.
Young lady, let that be a lesson to you.
Well, I must be going.
Charge! Charge the blockhouse!
The blockhouse?
The stairs are always San Juan Hill.
Have you ever tried to persuade him that he wasn't Teddy Roosevelt?
Oh, no.
I come back down.
Once we tried to persuade him to be George Washington, but that didn't go very well.
He just stayed under his bed for days and wouldn't be anybody else.
Very nervous.
Well, if he's happy, and what's the more you're happy? Well, I must be going. So long, ladies.
So long, Reverend.
Abby, did you just have tea? Isn't it rather late?
Yes, and dinner will be late, too.
So, why?
Oh, Teddy! Good news for you. You have another lock to dig in the canal.
Delighted. Just bully. Just bully. I shall prepare at once for the journey. Charge!
Abby, while I was out?
Yes.
Oh, snap.
I just couldn't wait. And I didn't know when you'd be back. And Reverend Harper was coming.
But all by yourself?
Oh, I got along fine.
Well, I'll run right downstairs and see.
No, there wasn't time and I was all alone.
Well,
Martha, just look in the window seats. Oh, it's Elaine!
Elaine!
I wonder what that's about. You don't suppose they've gone in?
I'd surprised when they tell us.
And Abby and Martha, hold on to your bustles. We're married. And Lynn and I are married.
Wonderful! Congratulations!
Don't act so surprised, you two old brides. Can I use your phone?
Yes, it's so wonderful.
And to think it happened right here in this room.
Hello, Vincent Floors. This is Mortimer Brewster. Can you send those flowers to Mrs. Brewster's Arsenic? You did? Good. Now send 4 dozen more to Farmer and David to your grandson's position. Yes, we heard. Oh, and don't look like one point.
Oh, before you go, we'll have a celebration. We'll open a bottle of wine, we'll sing, and I'll invite a few of the neighbors in.
And of course, a wedding cake.
Oh, darling, you don't have time to make a cake.
Oh, it's all ready. It's been ready since...
Yeah, I bet it's been ready since the first day I met everybody. What is this? Is everybody in Brooklyn now getting married except for me?
Oh, we knew you'd find out about it in time.
I have the 2 nicest aunts in the world. Of course, you got the nicest nephew in the world, too.
I'll run along and get everything ready.
Oh, dear. I hope Reverend Harper isn't too angry. You know how your books upset him.
Well, darling, I'm going to learn on my books. The Reverend can like the first smash. By the way, did I leave some notes here for my new book?
You mean Mind Over Matrimony?
Where are they?
I think I hid them someplace.
Well, let's find them before Elaine sees them. Hello, Mortimer. Hello, President. How are you? What news have you brought? Just this, President. Country is squarely behind you.
Yes, isn't it wonderful? Well, I'm off to go dig a lark for Panama.
Goodbye, Mr. President.
Oh, dear.
What's the matter? Find those notes?
No, it's a baby picture of your brother, Jonathan.
Well, you'll have to throw that in the fire with my books. What a face. I remember now. He used to scare grown-ups with it.
Just the thought of Jonathan frightens me. Do you remember how he used to cut worms in two with his teeth?
Oh, Jonathan? He's probably in prison or hanged or something by now. I saw a play last week that had a character that reminded me of Jonathan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, real funny of a lunatic. One of those whodunits called Murder Will Out.
Oh.
When the curtain goes up, one of the first things that you see is a dead body. And Abby, Aunt Martha,
Yes, dear?
you know how we were going to send Teddy to that sanitarium, Happydale?
Yes, but that's not until after we're gone.
No, darlings. We need to send Teddy to Happydale now, at once. Now he's down in the cellar. Bring him up here right away.
There's no such hurry as that.
And besides, when Teddy's working on the canal, you can't get his mind off anything else.
Well, look, darlings, I'm awful sorry, but I have an awful shock for you. Teddy's killed a man, darlings.
Nonsense, dear.
But there's a body in the window seat.
Yes, dear, we know.
You know?
Yes, dear, but it has nothing to do with Teddy.
But who is he?
Now, Mortimer, just forget you ever saw the gentleman.
Forget.
We never dreamed you'd peek.
But who is he?
His name is Hoskins. Adam Hoskins. That's really all I know about him. Except he's a Methodist.
Well, what's he doing here? What happened to him?
He died.
Aunt Martha, men just don't get into the window seat and die.
No, he died first.
Well, how did he die?
Now, Mortimer, don't be so inquisitive. The gentleman died because he drank some wine with poison in it.
Well, how'd the poison get into the wine?
Well, we put it in wine because it's less noticeable. When it's in tea, it has a distinct odor.
You put it in the wine?
Yes, and I put Mr. Hoskins in the window seat because Reverend Harper was coming.
You mean you knew what you'd done? And you didn't want Reverend Harper to see the body?
Well, not at tea. That wouldn't have been very nice.
It's first degree.
Now, Mortimer, just forget about the whole thing. I do believe Martha and I have the right to our own little secrets.
Oh, Abby, while I was out, I dropped in on Mrs. Schultz. She would like us to take Juniors to another movie.
Oh, we'll have to do that tomorrow, the next day.
Yes, but this time we'll go where we want to go. Junior's not going to drag me into another one of those scary pictures.
Operator, can you hear my voice? You can't? Are you sure? That must be here. And Abby and Martha, come in here. What are we going to do?
What are we going to do about what, dear?
There's a body in there.
Yes, Mr. Hoskins.
I don't want to know what his name is. I want to know what we're going to do. Well, I can't turn you over to the police. But what am I going to do?
Well, for one thing, dear, stop being so excited.
And for pity's sake, stop worrying. Who told you to forget about the whole thing?
Forget. My dear Aunt Abby, can't I make you realize that something has to be done?
Now, Mortimer, you behave yourself. You're too old to be flying off the handle like this.
But Mr. Hotchkiss,
Hoskins, dear.
well, whatever his name is, you can't leave him there.
We don't intend to, dear.
No, Teddy's down now digging the lock.
You mean you're going to bury Mr. Hotchkiss in the cellar?
Yes, that's what we did with the others.
No, you're not going to bury... Others?
The other gentlemen.
When you say others, do you mean others? As in more than one others?
Yes, this is 11, isn't it, Abby?
No, dear, this makes 12.
Oh, Abby, I think you're wrong.
No, because it occurred to me when Mr. Hoskins first came in that he would make just an even dozen.
Abby, I don't think we should count the first one.
But I was counting the first one, so that makes 12.
Oh, well, you're probably right. She usually is.
Hello? Hello? Not now. Not now. And for heaven's sake, just keep your shirt on. Elaine, I didn't mean...
Yes, dear, 12. Abby thinks we ought to count the first one, and that makes 12.
All right, now. Who was the first one?
Mr. Midgley, he was a Baptist.
He was such a lonely old man.
All his kith and kin were dead, and he left him so forlorn and unhappy.
We felt so sorry for him.
And then his heart attack came, and he sat dead in that chair. And he looked so peaceful, remember, Martha? And we thought if we could bring other lonely old men to that same peace, we would.
He dropped dead? Right in this chair? How awful for you.
Then Teddy came up from digging in the Panama, and we decided to bury him in the lock. Teddy thought he was a yellow fever victim,
So that meant he had to be buried immediately.
so we put him in a lock. That's why we told you not to worry about it, dear, because we know exactly what's to be done.
Wait a minute. What about the rest of them? All 12 of them just didn't walk in here and drop dead.
Oh, no, dear, of course not.
So?
Mortimer, do you remember all those jars of poison up on Grandfather's shelves in his laboratory all these years?
You know Aunt Martha's knack for mixing things. You've eaten enough for a piccalilli.
Yes, dear. For every gallon of elderberry wine, I take a teaspoonful of arsenic and a half teaspoonful of cyanide and just a pinch of strychnine.
Should have quite a kit.
Yes, as a matter of fact, we had one gentleman who had enough time to say, "How delicious."
He did? How nice of him.
Abby, we shouldn't stand here gossiping. We ought to get that cake ready.
I couldn't eat a thing.
Oh, you and your newlyweds. A bit of wine will give you an appetite.
Oh yes, a sip of wine. A sip of wine? Happy's alert. Digging logs. I can see the headlines now. Murder incorporated right across the front page. Let's see. Teddy, of course. Everyone knows he's crazy. Judge Coleman. Hello, information? Give me the number of Judge Coleman, please. You're calling back? Okay. Wouldn't it be nice if it wasn't in there?
Hey, you.
What are you doing in here?
What am I doing here? How do I look?
You look fine. Now run along home and I'll call you up tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yes, I always call you up every day or two.
Oh, you and your gags. Get your hat and come on. The back door in the taxi.
Taxi?
Yeah, come on.
Elaine, something happened.
Mortimer, what is wrong? Look at your hair.
My hair? What color is it? Quick, is it changed?
Oh, darling, what's the matter?
Elaine, you better run along home.
Home? But darling, we were married today.
Well, run along home and get some rest.
Rest?
Hello, Judge Coleman? No, this is Mortimer Bristol. Look, Judge, I called you about Teddy. I've got to come over and talk to you about him right away. No, it won't wait until tomorrow morning. It's something very, very important. We've got to do something about Teddy immediately. Well, it's practically a matter of weapon. Elaine! Will you please get out of here?
Mortimer, what in the world is going on around here? I want to know where I stand.
You can stand anywhere, just not there.
But darling, Niagara Falls?
It does. Well, let it.
Now, wait a minute. You can't marry me 1 minute and then throw me out of the house the next.
Darling, I'm not throwing you out of the house. Now, will you please get out of here?
But Mortimer!
I'm sorry, Judge. Something happened. Look, Judge, you see, it's about Teddy's beautiful one. The neighbors are complaining, and the police are all set to go in the state institution.
Well, how do you like that?
I'm ready to ask you about a room for rent.
Oh, shut up!
Well, if you would sign the papers, I can get Teddy to admit himself and get him into Happydale. Yes, it's a wonderful place, Judge. You will? Fine. I'll be right over as soon as I make another call.
It's the doorbell, dear. I'll get it. Oh, hello. Come in.
Are you the lady at the house?
Yes, I'm Miss Brewster.
My name is Gibbs. Ready to ask you about a room for rent?
Oh, yes. Do come in. And this is my sister, another Miss Brewster.
My name is Gibbs. Hello, operator?
Oh, won't you sit down?
This is Happydale Cemetery, Happydale, New York.
Is Brooklyn your home?
Haven't got a home. Live in a hotel. Don't like it.
Are your family Brooklyn people?
Don't have a family.
Walmart.
Hello, operator?
All alone in the world.
Yep.
Do have a seat. Well, Martha?
No, Happydale. No else.
Well, you've come to the right house.
Thanks. Well, the D. You know, as in dig a lot. Yeah, hey, as in arsenic.
Is there always this much noise here?
Oh, he doesn't live with us.
Hello?
I'd really like to see the room.
Oh, won't you have a sip of wine, please?
Never touch it.
Please sit down. It's elderberry wine.
Elderberry wine. Haven't tasted that since I was a boy. Thank you.
We make it ourselves.
Do you have your own elderberry bushes?
No, but the cemetery's full of them.
Well, skull.
Operator. What's taking you so long? It's only across the river. I can swim it faster. Yes, hello? What? They're busy? Well, if they're busy and you're dizzy. No, I'm not drunk about it, but you've given me an idea.
Mortimer!
Don't, Amy, I'm nervous. Don't do that.
Not that!
Yeah! Get out of here! You want to be poisoned? You want to be killed?
Oh, it fell off. Oh, it fell off. I put it in my pocket.
Can't do things like that. I don't know how to explain this, but it's not only against the law, it's wrong. People wouldn't understand. He wouldn't understand. Well, what I mean to say is, this is developing into a very bad habit. Hello, happy Dale Sanitarium? Amazing! Let me talk to Mr. Illustrator, please. We want to commit my brother Teddy immediately. I'll send the papers and call you back as soon as they're done. Thank you, Mr. Illustrator. Now, darlings, I have to run along to Judge Coleman's, but while I'm gone, I want you to promise me something.
We'd have to know what it was first.
I love you very much, and I know you love me. You know I'd do anything in the world for you, and I want you to do just this one little thing for me.
Well, what is it?
Don't do anything. I mean, don't do anything. Don't let anyone in this house leave Mr. Hoskins right where he is. I wouldn't want anything to happen to you.
Well, what on earth could happen to us?
Anyway, you'll do this for me, won't you?
Well, we were planning on holding services before dinner.
But can't that wait until I get back?
Oh, yes, and then you could join us.
Yes, yes. But remember, don't let anyone in this house while I'm gone. It's a promise.
Mortimer didn't seem quite like himself today.
Well, I think I know why.
Why?
Well, he's just been married. I guess that makes every man nervous. Oh, I'll get it.
Abby, Mortimer made us promise not to let anyone in. Wait a minute. I'll look. It's two men. I don't recognize them.
Are you sure? Let me look.
Do you recognize them?
They're strangers to me.
We'll have to pretend we're not home.
Come in, Doctor.
Ah, Johnny, it's a fine hideout.
The family must still live here. I hope there's a fatted calf awaiting the return of the prodigal.
Fatted calf. Oh, Johnny. Look, Johnny. Drinks.
As we were expected, a good omen.
Who are you? What are you
Aunt
doing
Abby,
here?
Aunt Martha. It's Jonathan.
You get out of here.
I'm Jonathan.
Oh, no,
Your
you're not.
nephew, Jonathan.
You're nothing like Jonathan, so you just get out of here.
His voice is like Jonathan's.
Have you been in an accident?
My face. Dr. Einstein's responsible for that. She's a plastic surgeon.
His voice is like Jonathan's, but his face, I've seen that face before. Abby, remember when we took the little shorts boy to the movies and I was so terrified? It was that face.
Easy, Johnny, easy. Don't worry, ladies. Last 5 years, I give Johnny 3 new faces. But I give him a new one right away. This last face, I saw that picture too. Right before I operated, I was intoxicated.
You see, Doctor? You see what you've done to me? Even my own family doesn't recognize me.
It's okay, Johnny. How often he tells me about his house, about Brooklyn, about his aunts he loves so much. Do you know it's Jonathan? Tell him so.
Wow, Jonathan, it's been a long time.
Bless you. It's good to be home again.
Well, Martha, we wouldn't want the stove to boil over.
If you'll excuse us for a minute, Jonathan, unless you have somewhere to go.
What are we gonna do now? We got to find a place quick. We got to find a place for me to operate on you. We got to find a place for Mr. Spinazzo too.
Don't waste any worry on that rat.
But Johnny, we got a hot stiff on our hands.
Forget Mr. Spinozzo.
But you can't just leave a dead body in the rumble seat. You shouldn't have killed him, Johnny. He's a nice fellow. He gives a lift. And then what?
He said I look like Boris Karloff. That's your work, Doctor. You did that to me.
But Johnny, I can fix you up real quick. We just got to find a place to operate.
Tonight.
No, Johnny, not tonight. I got to eat first.
My dear Aunt, I'm so full of your delicious dinner. I'm unable to have got it. Okay, remember, when it opens, you guys are putting your napkins on the table, right? Like you just got done eating. Okay. Right? Are they all on?
Well, I know you both want to get back to where you're going to.
My dear Aunt, I'm so full of that delicious dinner, I'm unable to move a muscle.
Yeah, it's nice here.
I found it. Gentlemen, be seated. Here's my life, my biography. Here's me, General, and here's you. Me, President Roosevelt and General Goethals at Culebra Cut.
My, how I look different.
You see, this picture hasn't been taken yet. We haven't even started work on the Culebra Cut. We're still digging locks. And now, General, me and you will go down and inspect the new lock.
No, Teddy, not to Panama.
Panama's, yeah, not tonight. Panama's a long way off.
Nonsense. It's just down in the cellar.
The cellar?
We let him dig the Panama in our cellar.
As President of the United States, Commander-in-Chief of the Army and Navy, and the person who gave you this job, I command you to come and inspect the new lock.
General, Teddy, I think it's time you went to bed.
I beg your pardon? Who are you?
I'm Woodrow Wilson. Go to bed.
No, you're not Wilson, but your face is familiar. Let's see. Maybe you're someone I meet on my hunting trip to Africa.
Teddy, I think you better go to bed. Jonathan and his friend have to go back to the hotel.
General Goethals, inspect the canal.
Well, bon voyage.
Aunt Abby, I must correct your misapprehension. You spoke of our hotel. We have no hotel. We came directly here.
Jonathan, you can't stay here.
But Dr. Einstein and I need a place to sleep. You remember that as a boy I could be a bit disagreeable. It wouldn't be very pleasant for any of us if, well, I don't need to go into details, do I?
Perhaps we'd better let him stay here tonight.
I hope Teddy's okay down at the canal. Do you think Einstein's gonna get lost?
I sure hope not. He is kind of an idiot.
Are you sure you're not going to your hotel?
No, we're sleeping here.
Hey, Johnny, guess what?
Oh, I forgot to tell you. Dr. Einstein and I are turning grandfather's laboratory into an operating room. We expect to be very busy.
Johnny, when I go down to the cellar, what do you think I find?
What?
A whole teddy dog. It just fits Mr. Spinozzo. 6 feet long and 4 feet wide. It's like they knew we were bringing him along. That's hospitality.
Rather good joke on my aunts. They're living in a house with a body buried in the cellar.
But how do we get them in? We can't just walk them through the front door.
Yes, we can't just walk them through the front door. We'll bring the car between the house and the cemetery. Then when they've gone to bed, we'll bring them in through the window. We're bringing the car up. You better get to bed.
It's all right where it is until morning.
I don't want to leave it there. It might be against the law.
Abby, what are we going to do?
Well, for one thing, we're not going to let them stay in this house more than one night. What would the neighbors think? Coming in with one face and walking out with another.
No, Abby, what are we going to do about Mr. Hoskins?
Oh, Mr. Hoskins! It must not be very comfortable for him in there, the poor dear. He's been so patient. We must get Teddy to bring him down to Panama right away.
General Gothel is very pleased. He says the canal is just the right size.
Teddy, there's been another yellow fever victim.
Dear me, this will be a shock to the general.
No, Teddy, we must keep it a secret.
Yes, a state secret?
Yes.
A state secret, yes.
Do you have lines? Someone have lines? Lines.
Promise.
You have the word of the President of the United States. Cross my heart and hope to die. Now, how are we going to keep it a secret?
Well, Teddy, you'll go down in the cellar, and when I turn the lights off, when it's all dark, you come back up and take Mr. Hoskins down to the cellar. Now run along, Teddy.
And we'll come down for services.
Where is the poor devil?
In the window seat.
Ah, it's spreading. We haven't seen it there before.
Abby, I haven't seen Mr. Hoskins.
Oh, that's right, you were out. Well, come over here and take a look at him. He's very nice looking, considering he's a Methodist.
We're bringing the luggage in through here.
Oh, John. Your room's ready for you. You can go up now.
I'm afraid we don't keep Brooklyn hours. But you two run along to bed.
Oh, Jonathan. You two must be tired. And we don't go to bed this early.
Well, you should. It's time I came home to take care of both of you.
Now for the instruments, I'll come back later.
Now then, we'll all go to bed.
I'll turn the lights out when you go upstairs.
Run along, Aunt Martha. Just off the laboratory, Doctor. All right, Aunt Abby.
I'll be right up.
Aunt Abby?
Oh, my.
That's okay. You just say, all right, Johnny. My mic was on. No, wait.
All right, Johnny.
I'll go around outside the house. When I tap on the glass, I'll put him through.
No, Johnny. He's too heavy for me to pull him. You go around and push, and then I'll stay in here and pull. Okay?
Okay.
Ah, dumb cop, Johnny.
Always do that.
at the door. You go quick. I manage here. You go quick. Bro, I need somebody to hold this. Dana.
Aunt Abby, Aunt Martha, Mortimer, Aunt Abby, Aunt Martha. Who is it? Is that you, Teddy? Who are you?
Who are you?
I'm Elaine Harper. I live next door.
And what are you doing here?
I came to see my husband, Mortimer.
Then why'd you say your name was Harper?
It is Harper. I mean, it's Brewster. I'm a new Brewster. I'm not very used to it.
What are you doing here? Doctor.
It's okay, Johnny. It's okay.
Maybe you better explain what you're doing here.
We happen to live here.
You don't live here. I'm here every day and I've never seen you before. Where are Miss Martha and Miss Abby? What have you done to them?
Perhaps we better introduce ourselves. May I present Dr. Einstein?
Dr. Einstein?
Yes, a surgeon of great distinction. And something of a magician.
Now I suppose you're going to tell me you're bored.
I am Jonathan Brewster.
Oh, Jonathan.
You've heard of me?
Yes, they talk about you.
And what do they say about me?
Just that there's another brother named Jonathan, that's all.
If you'll kindly lock the door.
Well, seeing as Mortimer's not here, I'll just be going if you'll kindly unlock the door.
That explains everything. Just what do you mean by that? Why do you come here at this time of night?
Well, I just thought I saw Mortimer drive up, but I suppose it was you?
You thought you saw someone drive up?
Yes. Wasn't that you outside? Isn't that your car?
You saw someone at the car?
Yes.
What else did you see?
Just that, that's all.
Why do you come here?
Well, I came to see Mortimer, but since he's not here, I'll be running along.
Giving two names. I think she's dangerous.
No visitors. It's going to be a private funeral.
Teddy, tell these men who I am.
That's my daughter, Alice.
No, Teddy.
Now, Alice, don't play rough with the gentleman.
Teddy, no.
Charge!
Teddy!
The cellar.
What's
We've caught a
happening down
burglar.
there?
A sneak thief. Go back to your room.
What are you doing?
We'll handle this. Don't answer that. Do you hear me? Don't answer that.
Paige, when she comes out, I don't have a line, right? Like when she comes back. If she comes out.
Yeah, Abby and Martha.
All right, where's Teddy?
Where have you been?
Never mind that now, darling, please. What are you doing with your best clothes on? Holy, what's that?
It's your brother Jonathan and Dr. Einstein.
Didn't I tell you not to let anyone in this house?
Mortimer, he... Say it was again.
But it's Jonathan and he came in and
I've come back home, Mortimer.
Come back home, Mortimer. It talks.
Yes, Mortimer, I talk. Have you forgotten the things I used to do to you? When you were tied to the bedpost, the needles under the fingernails.
Mortimer, he...
Wait a minute, God, please. Holy mackerel, it is Jonathan.
I'm glad you remember.
Yeah, I remember. How could I forget you? Where'd you get that face? Hollywood?
Now don't you two boys start quarreling the second you see each other.
We've invited Jonathan and Dr. Einstein to stay.
What?
Just for tonight.
Oh, no, you don't. I'm staying here. In fact, I'm staying here tonight from now on.
But Mortimer, what about me?
And there's no room for anybody else in this house. Now beat it, both of you.
But Mr. Brewster, please, we don't take up much room. I can sleep on the sofa, and Johnny can sleep on the window seat.
Nothing to window seat? Certainly not on the window seat. I'm gonna sleep on the window seat from now on.
But Mortimer, we were married today.
Now look, Jonathan. Now look. Be a good fellow. Here's $10. Go out and scare yourself at the hotel.
You know what I do to people who order me around, Mortimer.
Johnny, Mr. Spinazzo.
What?
what are we gonna do with him?
Doctor, you know I've completely lost track of Mr. Spinalzo.
Who's this Mr. Spinalzo?
He's just a friend of Johnny's.
Well, don't bring anybody else in here. Now beat it, both of you. All right, now where's Teddy?
All right, Johnny, I'll tell you the story later.
I'll take care of you, Mortimer, in just a little while.
Can you believe that guy? Been away for 20 years and he picks the night out of all nights to come back. Oh, hello, Elaine. What are you doing here?
Mortimer, I almost got killed.
Killed? Aunt Abby, Aunt Martha.
It was Jonathan.
He mistook her for a sneak thief.
It was worse than that. He's some kind of a maniac.
I know, darling. I know.
Mortimer, I'm afraid of him.
I know, darling. Just forget about him. I'm here now. Forget about him.
Mortimer, we were married today. We were going over Niagara Falls in a barrel. Your brother tries to strangle me. You want to sleep on a window seat. What in the world is going on around here? Do you or do you not love me?
Elaine, of course I love you. In fact, I love you so much, I can't go through with our marriage.
Have you suddenly gone crazy?
No, I think it's only a matter of time. Look, darling, I probably should have told you this before, but, like, you wouldn't want to have children with 3 heads, would you?
Mortimer, what are you talking about?
Well, I probably should have told you this before, but insanity runs in my family. It practically gallops.
Ah, darling, just because Teddy's a little strange, that doesn't mean...
No, this goes way back before Teddy. This goes back to the first rooster, the one that came on the Mayflower.
Ah, that's ancient history. Your aunts are roosters, aren't they? And they're the nicest, sanest people I've ever met.
Even they have to put together everything.
What of it? So your family's crazy, so you're crazy. That's the way I want you. That's the way I love you. So I'm crazy too.
Yours. Crazy. Witherspoon! Darling, you better run along home.
What?
Yes, run along home like a good girl. I've got things to do.
Home? But darling, we were married today.
Hello, operator? Give me Happy Dale San 270.
Mortimer, did you not just hear what I was just saying?
Yes, operator, 270.
Your own brother Jonathan, he tried to strangle me.
Hello, Mr. Witherspoon? This is Mortimer Brewster. Look, I know it's late, but I want you to come get my brother Teddy immediately.
Mortimer.
It's got to be done. The doctor. Holy mackerel, I forgot the doctor.
But Mortimer.
Please, can't you see I've got to get a doctor? What kind of a doctor? A family doctor?
You can take your wedding ring, you can take your window seat, put them all in a barrel and throw them all over Niagara Falls.
Thank you, thank you. Well, look, why don't you come down here anyway? Yes, and why are you coming down here? I'll get Teddy and the doctor's signature both. Elaine! Yeah, I'll get the book. Come right away. Elaine! There's another one! And Abby! And Martha!
We'll be in a minute, dear.
Come in here now!
Yes, dear.
I thought I told you not to let anyone in this house.
But Jonathan just walked in.
I don't mean Jonathan.
And Dr. Einstein was with him.
I don't mean Dr. Einstein. Who's this in the window seat?
We told you, Mr. Hoskins.
It's not Mr. Hoskins.
Well, who could that be?
Are you trying to tell me that you don't know this person?
I certainly am. Well, this is a fine how do you do. So now anybody thinks they can just walk in here.
Now, Aunt Abby, don't try to get out of this. This is another one of your gentlemen.
Mortimer, how could you say something like that? That man is an imposter. And if he came in here to think he's buried, he's mistaken.
Oh, Aunt Abby, you admitted to me that you put Mr. Hoskins in the window seat.
Yes, I did.
Well, this man couldn't have got the idea from Mr. Hoskins. By the way, where is Mr. Hoskins?
He must have gone down to Panama.
You buried him?
No, not yet. We haven't had time with Jonathan being in the house and all. Oh, poor dear, he's been so patient. We've always wanted a double wedding, but I will not do it over a complete stranger.
A stranger? Aunt Abby, how can I believe you? There are 12 men in your cellar, and you admit you poisoned them.
Yes, I did. But you wouldn't think I'd stoop to telling a fib. Martha!
This may interest you, Mortimer, but I've decided I'm staying and you're leaving. And I mean now.
Listen, handsome, I'm in no mood to debate the question. Now, are you getting out, or am I throwing you out on your ear?
I've led a strange life, Mortimer.
Martha, just look and see what's in the window seats.
No, Abby, don't! Jonathan, let Aunt Martha see what's in the window seat. Aunt Abby, I owe you an apology. I have good news for you. Jonathan is leaving. He's taking Dr. Einstein and that cold companion with him. Now look, Jonathan, you're my brother. You're a Brewster. I'm giving you the chance to get away and take the evidence with you. You can't ask for more than that. Very well. In that case, I'll have to call the police.
Don't reach for that telephone, Mortimer. Remember, what happened to Mr. Spinozzo can happen to you too.
Spinozzo?
I knew he was a foreigner.
Put down that telephone, Mortimer.
Hello?
Oh, Miss O'Hara, do come in.
I saw the lights on. I thought there might be sickness in the house. Oh, you've got company. I'm so sorry. I'll be going.
No, come in.
Yes, please do come in.
Come right in, officer. This is our nephew, Mortimer.
How do you do?
And this is our other nephew, Jonathan.
Nice to make your acquaintance. Say, your face looks kind of familiar. Maybe I've seen a picture of you somewhere.
I don't think so.
Well, I'll just be running along.
No, stay here. Stay here. I'd like you to stay here until my brother leaves.
Well, I've got to ring in. Say, aren't you Mortimer Brewster, the dramatic critic?
Yes? Why?
Oh, what a break for me. I'm a playwright. I'm working on a play right now.
You are? Well, maybe I can help you.
Would you? Oh, that would be wonderful. I get great ideas, but I don't know how to spell them.
I can spell like the Dickens. Constantinople. Why don't you come into the kitchen and you can tell me all about it? Can you whip up a sandwich for Officer O'Hara?
I hope you don't mind eating in the kitchen.
Where else would you eat?
I'll be in just a moment. Now look, Jonathan, this is your last chance. I'm giving you the chance to get away, and I'll keep Officer O'Hara busy. Now get going, all three of you. You, Dr. Einstein, and Spinozzo.
Mortimer,
Because if you don't leave here in 5 minutes, I'll bring in Officer O'Hara and introduce him to Mr. Spinozzo.
Mr. Brewster, my place takes place in the place you
Just give me 1 more minute.
Oh, okay.
Now get going, all three of you.
Doctor, this affair between me and my brother has got to be settled.
Johnny, we got trouble enough. Let's just go. With the cop in the kitchen, Mr. Spinozzo in the window seat, what else do we need?
That's all he's got on us. We'll take Mr. Spinozzo and dump him in the bay. And we're coming right back here. And if he tries to interfere...
But Johnny, we can't.
Doctor, look at me. You can see what has to be done, can't you?
Yes, Johnny, I can see. When you're like this, you lose your head. Things go wrong.
Hide their instruments in the cellar. Move fast.
I don't know that scene. Just start talking now. Just start talking. Hey, Johnny, come quick.
What?
You know that hole in the cellar?
Yes?
Well, we got an ace in the hole. Come on, I show you.
Jonathan? Jonathan! Jonathan!
Yes, Mortimer?
I thought I told you to get out of here.
We're not going anywhere.
Oh, you're not, huh? All right, you asked for it. Officer O'Hara?
If you tell O'Hara what's in the window seat, I'll tell him what's down in the cellar.
The cellar?
There's an elderly gentleman down there who seems to be very dead.
What were you doing down in the cellar?
What's he doing down in the cellar?
Now what are you going to tell O'Hara?
Mr. Brewster, your aunts want to hear the play too. Shall I get them in here?
No, you got to ring in.
Forget about ringing in. You've got me rolling. You've got to hear the whole plot.
Well, don't tell them. These two people, they wouldn't appreciate it.
Oh, lowbrows, huh?
Let's go someplace where we can alone, and I'll meet you there later.
Okay, how about the back room at Kelly's?
Fine, I'll meet you at Kelly's, but you've got to ring in on the way.
Okay, you're not going to stand me up now, are you?
Why don't you two go down to the cellar?
That's fine with me?
No! We'll go to Kelly's, but you've got to ring in on the way.
Okay, but you cannot stand me up. This is a great play. I promise you'll like it. I'll see you there.
Oh, you think you're smug, aren't you? You think you got one over me? You think you got one over me, don't you? Well, you haven't. The moment Spinello, I mean the doctor signs these papers, I don't care who knows about him. Hoskins, I mean. And you should feel the same way about Spinalzo. Yes, Spinalzo.
Where are you going, Mortimer?
The doctors, what do you think? When I come back, I expect to find you gone. Wait for me.
We'll wait for him.
Did he look guilty?
Oh, Martha, we can start our services. Oh, we thought we heard you leave.
Perish the thought. That was just Mortimer. Speaking of services, why don't you put on some coffee while we take Mr. Spinalzo down to the cellar?
Oh, no.
There's a friend of Mortimer's down there waiting for him.
No, Jonathan, you've got to take him with you. A friend of Mortimer's?
They'll get along fine. They're both dead.
He must be Mr. Hoskins.
You know about what's downstairs?
Of course we do. And he's no friend of Mortimer's. He's one of our gentlemen.
You're a gentleman.
And we won't have any strangers buried in our cellar.
But Mr. Hoskins...
Mr. Hoskins isn't a stranger.
Besides, there's no room. It's already crowded.
Crowded with what?
The 12 graves down there.
12 graves?
And there's very little room. And we're going to need it. So you take Mr. Spinalzo out of here.
You mean you and Aunt Martha have murdered...
Murder? Certainly not.
Why? What we're doing is a mercy.
It's one of our charities.
You mean you've done that here, in this house, and you buried them down there?
What? We've been chased all over the world, and they stay right here in Brooklyn, and they do just as good as you.
What?
I mean, you got 12, and they got 12.
I've got 13.
No, Johnny, 12. Don't brag.
There's Mr. Spinalzo, then the first one in London, 2 in Johannesburg, 1 in Sydney, 1 in Melbourne, 2 in San Francisco, 1 in Phoenix. The filling station. Then 3 in Chicago and 1 in South Bend. That makes 13.
No, Johnny, you can't count the one in South Bend. He died of pneumonia.
He wouldn't have gotten pneumonia if I hadn't shot him.
But Johnny, that don't count. He died of pneumonia. That don't count. You got 12 and they got 12. The old ladies are just as good as you.
Oh, they are they? That's easily taken care of. All I need is 1 more. And I got a pretty good idea of who that's going to be.
It's a terrible thing to do to marry a Methodist foreigner.
All right, now, wait, pen. Wait, pen. I've got a signature on today's signature paper.
Mortimer, what is the matter with you? Getting paper signed at a time like this?
We're gonna go for the police.
All right. The police? You can't go for the police.
Do you know what Jonathan's doing?
He's burying Mr. Hoskins and Mr. Spinazzo in together.
Let him.
Mortimer, if they are not out of here by morning, we're going to call the police.
They'll be out. I promise that. Now go to bed, will you? And for heaven's sakes, get out of those clothes. You two look like a fucking blackout.
Whew, that's all fixed up. Smooth as a lake. No one would ever know we'd be down there burying some bodies. Man, that bed feels comfortable already. I mean, 48 hours we haven't slept.
You're forgetting, Doctor.
What?
My brother Mortimer. I just heard him upstairs.
No, Johnny, not tonight. I'm tired, and tomorrow I got to operate.
Yes, you're operating tomorrow, but tonight we take care of Mortimer.
No, Johnny, not tonight. What about tomorrow or the next day?
Doctor, look at me. You can see what we have to do, can't you?
Yes, Johnny, I can see. I know that look.
It's a little too late for us to dissolve our partnership.
All right, but the quick way. Hey, Johnny, like the quick twist in London.
No, I think this calls for the Melbourne method. I'll get the tools.
No, not the Melbourne method. 2 hours, and then what? The guy in London was just as dead as the guy in Melbourne.
Okay.
Don't do that, Mr. President. I have to consult my cabinet. This is designed as a secret. Secret project. How unusual. It's how the only way to help smoke. Who's the other fellow? That's the secret. How unusual. I must put on my signing clothes. Did you already have them on? Oh, I see. Wait here.
Hey, Mr. Brewster, you go now, eh?
Not now, Doctor. I'm waiting for something. Something important. Thank you, Mr. President.
Please, Mr. Brewster, you go now.
Stop it, Doctor.
But Johnny's in a bad mood. When he's like this, things happen. Terrible things.
Don't tell me about... Stop underplaying.
But Mr. Brewster, you just got married. You got a nice little wife. I mean...
Stop all this, Doctor. Are you really... Wait, are you even a doctor?
Yes, Heisenberg, 1919. Now you go.
Heidelberg? But how'd you get mixed up with Jonathan?
I'll tell you that later. Go!
Stop it. Stop.
Mr. Brewster, please go. You just got married. Your wife is expecting you at home. You need to go. When Johnny's like this, things happen in his head. His head's gone. Just go.
Don't tell me about Jonathan. I'll take care of Jonathan. You take care of yourself. Now beat before things start popping around you.
Mr. Brewster, please. Don't those plays teach you anything?
Don't get me on the subject of plays. I've got a lot on my mind right now. I've got to wait here for Miss Witherspoon.
At least people in plays got sense. It's more than you got.
So you think people in plays act intelligently?
Uh-huh.
Listen, Buster, when you get out of prison, have yourself wheeled over to the Garrick Theater. There's a play there. It's honey. It's so bad, it'll still be running when you get out. In this play, there's a man. He's in a house filled with murderers.
What does...
You have to know he's on guard. Doesn't he have enough sense to be on guard? He's even been warned to get out. But does he go?
I don't know.
No, he stays there. He didn't even have enough sense to be on guard. To be scared, even. For instance, the murderer invites him to sit down. And what do you think he does?
I don't know.
He sits down. He deliberately pulls up a chair and sits down.
Huh. But
like,
what...
There he sits, all waiting to be trussed up again.
But what... I don't know. What?
The curtain cord.
He doesn't see him get it?
No, he sat there with his back to him. All he has to do is turn around. But does he? No. See, Doctor, in a play, or in a movie for that instance, nobody sees or hears anything.
But what does he do?
He sits there. This fella, who's supposed to be bright, get a little of this attitude, largest left, just sitting there waiting to be trussed up and gagged, the big dope.
Mortimer, I've been away for 20 years, but not once in all that time, my dear brother, were you out of my mind. One night in Melbourne, I dreamed of you. Now, Doctor, we get to work.
Yeah, the quick way, eh, Johnny?
No, this has to be an artistic achievement. After all, her performing for a distinguished critic.
Okay, but first, I got to have a drink. I can't operate without a drink.
Pull yourself together, Doctor.
But Johnny, when we walked in here this afternoon, there was wine. Where did those ladies put it? Ah, here it is. Just enough. Here, you take some too.
One moment, Doctor, please. Where are your manners? Yes, Mortimer, I realize now is you that brought me back to Brooklyn. Doctor, to my dear dead brother.
Dot!
That idiot. He goes next. That's all. He goes next.
No, Johnny, not Teddy. That's where I stop.
We get to Teddy later.
No, Johnny, we don't get to Teddy at all.
Now, we gotta work fast.
Yeah, the quick way, eh, Johnny?
Hey, the colonel's gotta stop blowing that bugle.
It's all right, officer. We're taking it away from him.
I better speak to him myself. Hey, you stood me up. I've been waiting at Kelly's for over an hour. What happened to him?
He's just explaining a play he saw.
Oh, did that really happen in a play you saw? Man, they practically stole that from the second act in my play. Why, in the second act, just before the... Well, I better start from the beginning. Huh? What? Oh! No. You've got to hear the plot. Well, she's sitting there making up, you see, when all of a sudden, through the door, a man with a black mustache walks in, turns to my mother and says, "Mrs. Latour, will you marry me?" Well, that's the first scene. They don't tell them that they're married. That's the surprise. What a cake. Well, in the meantime, 25 years pass, and there's me, growing into a magnificent specimen. What do? I join the force and become one of New York's finest. Little do I know, but I'm dealing with some crooked laundry, you see. When all of a sudden, there's a dope with a long knife trailing after me. I'm in great danger. It's getting to you, ain't it? I can see in your eyes. All of a sudden, a fire breaks out, and through the door come in the firemen. And who do you think's leading them? Mayor Ferrero Linguardi. What happened to him?
I think your play probably put him to sleep.
What?
Personally, I like it very much.
It's probably over his head, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Hey, where have I seen that face before?
No, please no, not that face.
Well, anyways, the scene changes. It's a revolving stage. I'm walking along my beat one night casually, when all of a sudden, a guy I'm following turns out to be following me. Don't let anyone in!
Police, Johnny, police!
I figure I'll outsmart him. There's a house up on the corner. I go up to it, I jiggle the door handle, I brace myself against the wall, I pulls my gun and says, "Come in!" Oh, hello girls.
What's going on here?
Well, I've just been sitting here writing my play with Mortimer Brewster.
Did you have to tie him up to make him listen?
No.
You better report into the station. The whole force is out looking for you.
Did they send you here for me?
No, I came by to warn the ladies. The neighbors are raising Cain on account of Teddy's blowing that bugle. The lieutenant's on a war path. He says the colonel's got to be put away someplace. Who's this guy?
This is Mortimer Brewster's brother.
Oh, the one that ran away? He came back. This is Brophy. Get me Mac. I better let them know we found you. Mac, tell the lieutenant he can call off the big manhunt. We found him. In the Brewster house. You want us to bring him in? All right, we'll keep him here. The lieutenant's on his way over.
So I've been turned in, eh? All right, you got me. And I suppose you and that stool pigeon brother of mine are going to split the reward.
Reward?
Now I'll do some turning in. You think my aunts are sweet, charming old ladies, don't you? Well, there are 13 bodies in the cellar.
You better be careful about what you're saying about your aunts. They happen to be friends of ours.
13 bodies. I'll show it to you. I'll prove it to you.
Wait a minute.
13 bodies. I'll show you where they're buried.
Oh yeah? Harry, you go with him.
You want me to go with him? Look at that face. He looks like Boris Karloff.
What do you think you're
doing? Well, what do you know about that? Come in. Well, we was just about to...
Never mind, what happened? Did he put up a fight? This ain't the guy that blows the bugle. This is his brother. He tried to kill O'Hara.
All I said is that he looked like Boris Karloff.
Turn him over. We kind of think he's wanted somewhere. Oh, you kind of think? If you guys don't look at the circulars we hang up in the station, at least you could read True Detective. He's certainly wanted in Indiana for the criminally insane. He's a lifer. For goodness sake, that's what he was described. He looks like Boris Karloff. Why'd you knock him out? He tried to get us down in the cellar. He said there's 13 bodies buried there. And that didn't tip you off that he came out of a nut house? Oh, for goodness sake, it's Shakespeare. Where have you been all night?
I've been right here, sir, writing my play with Mortimer Brewster.
Yeah? Well, you have plenty of time to write that play. You're suspended. No go report in. And find something about his accomplice, the one that helped him escape. He's wanted too. Oh, for goodness sake, no wonder Brooklyn's in this shape it's in. With flatheads like you. Falling for that kind of story? 13 bodies in the cellar.
But there are 13 bodies in the cellar.
Who are you?
Well, I'm the President of the United States.
What is this?
Dear me, another yellow fever victim?
No, Colonel. This is a spy we caught in the White House. Well, Colonel, this is the last time you've blown your bugle. Oh, look, he's coming around. Will you take that guy out of here?
If there's any questioning of spies, that's my department.
You keep out of this. Who are you?
Usually, I'm Mortimer Brewster, but I'm not quite myself today.
Well, Mr. Brewster, no arguments. You know he needs to be put away.
I quite agree with you. In fact, I've had these papers signed by Dr. Gilchrist. Teddy has signed them himself, you see. I have signed them as next of kin.
All right. I don't care where he goes as long as he goes. It ain't enough that the neighbors are all afraid of him. But could you imagine what would happen if that cockeyed story of 13 bodies got around? Now he's starting a yellow fever scare? Cute, ain't it?
Oh, Miss Witherspoon! I can't tell you how glad I am to see you. You will take good care of Teddy, won't you?
The best of care, Mr. Brewster.
And no weapon can leave.
To take him away? Oh, no, never. Taxi cabs. We always do taxis. We have one waiting now.
He needs a great deal. We will personally see that he's happy at Happydale.
Oh, he'll be very happy at Happydale. You know, sometimes I envy some of our patients secretly. This is a particularly happy moment for me tonight. You see, I've never met a dramatic critic, and I've been so anxious to. Here's a little something I put together about Happydale.
A pamphlet?
Oh no, a play. Something I've been working on for some time now. Just about a few
Lieutenant! Lieutenant! This is Miss Witherspoon.
Chime, I'm sure. Here are the papers. You can take him away.
I'll be in my office vetoing some bills.
Mr. President, I have good news for you. Your term of office is over.
Is this March the 4th already?
Practically.
Let's see. Now I go on my hunting trip to Africa. Is she trying to move in before I moved out?
Who, Teddy?
Mrs. Tapp.
No, Teddy, this isn't Mrs. Tapp. This is Miss Witherspoon. She's to be your guide in Africa.
Come pack my bags and bring my bugle. I'm going to Africa. Isn't it wonderful? Goodbye, Aunt Abby. Goodbye, Aunt Martha.
You've come to meet Teddy? She's come to take him.
Oh no, we won't permit it. We promised to take the bugle away from him.
I'm sorry, ladies, but the law is the law. He's committed himself and he's going.
We won't be separated from Teddy.
Well, if he goes, we're going too.
Yes, you'll have to take us with him.
Well, why not?
Well, the three of them to want to, but you see, we can't take same people at Happydale.
These two same people will get lost in the shuffle, wouldn't they?
No. Too dangerous. Dissension. Jealousy.
Now let's be sensible about this, ladies. Here I am, wasting my time when I got serious work to do. You know there's still murders in Brooklyn to be solved? It ain't enough that the neighbors are all afraid of him and his bugle, but sooner or later we'd be put to the trouble of digging up your cellar.
Our cellar?
Yeah, he's been telling everyone that there's 13 bodies buried down there.
If that's why you think Teddy has to go, you come down to our cellar. We'll prove it to you.
I'll take your word for it, ladies. I'm a busy woman.
There's one, Mr. Spinazzo, who doesn't belong here, and will have to go. But the other 12 are ours.
I don't think the lieutenant wants to go down in the cellar anyway. She was only telling me that last year she had to dig up a whole half-acre lot.
You're right.
Oh, you won't have to dig up any graves here. They're all marked. We put flowers on them every Sunday.
Flowers? Superintendent, please can you find a room for them?
Well,
Come with us and we'll show you the graves.
It's okay, ladies. We got other things to do. Right, Super?
why, certainly.
If we can go with Teddy, we'll sign the papers. Where are they?
Oh, yes, where are they?
Oh, well, sign them up, Superintendent. I want to get this all cleaned up. 13 bodies.
If you'll sign right here.
You hear it, Abby?
Oh, this is so wonderful. This neighborhood has changed so much.
And to think, a front lawn again.
Oh no, we're overlooking something.
What?
Well, we'll need the signature of the doctor.
Dr. Einstein! Will you come over here, please? We'd like you to sign some papers.
Please, I must.
Come right over, Doctor. He almost operated on me this evening. Just come right over, Doctor. Just sign, right here.
Hello, Mac, Rooney. We picked up that guy that's wanted in Indiana. Now there's a description of his accomplice. It's right on the desk. Can you please read it to me?
Aren't you
I can
going
wait.
to wait for Jonathan?
No, I don't think we're going to the same place.
Okay, yeah, about 54, 5'6", weighs 140 pounds, talks with a German accent, poses as a doctor. Thanks, Mac.
It's all right, Lieutenant. The doctor here has just completed the signature.
Thanks, Doc. You're doing Brooklyn a real service.
Mr. Brewster, if you'll sign right here as next of kin.
Of course, right here.
That's fine.
Ms. Witherfork,
Spoon.
come pack my duffel and bring my bugle.
President. Don't charge.
Mortimer, we're very worried about something.
Now, darlings, you're going to love it at Happydale.
Yes, we're very excited about the hole. That's just it. We don't want anything to go wrong.
Are they going to investigate these signatures?
No, I don't think they'll investigate Dr. Einstein.
Well, dear, it's not his signature we're worried about. It's yours.
You see, you signed as next of kin.
Of course. Why?
Well, dear, you're not really a Brewster.
Your mother came to us as a sea cook, and 3 months later you were born. But she was such a good cook, and we didn't want to lose her, so she married brother.
Now, don't feel badly about it, dear. And I'm sure it won't make any difference to Elaine.
Elaine! Did you hear? Do you understand? I'm not really a Brewster. I'm the son of a sea cook.
Mortimer, it's true. There are 13 bodies buried in the cellar.
What is all this screaming about?
Past her bedtime.
But Mortimer...
What is this? Well, they're off to a flying start.
Are your family Brooklyn people?
No, I'm all alone. That's why I'm at Happydale.
Well, Martha.
Well, Abby.
I still don't like her.
Okay, someone needs
coming, and we know it's very difficult to put on big productions like this. So we just want to give a big round of applause to our two directors, Mr. Collum and Mrs. Collum. We do have flowers for Mrs. Collins because she's a lady, and Mr. Collins' favorite candy, and this is just our way of saying thank you. And you guys just have like literally no idea how much they've done for us. Even though we may argue, they're still amazing, and we love them very much. And thank you guys so much for coming.
All right, let's give him one more hand. Let's do it. Let's give him one more hand.